Atlanta passed a sanctuary policy in 2025. Police officers don't help federal immigration enforcement. The city said so on the record. That same year, the Open Records audit showed 3,254 Border Patrol searches of Atlanta's police cameras. The same audit reported both. The pattern shows up in 4 places: surveillance, speech, biometrics, and health data. In each one, the Constitution writes a rule about what the government can't do, and in each one, the government hires a private company to do the same thing. The rule applies to the government. The company holds the database. Bend, Oregon, population 99,000. The police department signed on to Flock, a private camera network used by police agencies. 3 weeks later, the captain figured out the federal search feature was reciprocal. Turned it on to query other cities. Other cities can query yours. In those 3 weeks, federal agencies ran 279 immigration searches into Bend's cameras. Customs and Border Protection ran 118. That's the floor, the smallest example. Now the scale. Ventura County, California. The sheriff turned the federal search feature off in 2023, in writing, to comply with state law. 2 years later, federal and out-of-state agencies had queried Ventura's cameras 364,000 times. San Francisco. The class action filed in February says outside agencies accessed police cameras 1.6 million times in 7 months. There are roughly 4,500 police departments on this network. Same architecture every time. The Constitution writes a rule about the government, so the government finds a private company that isn't bound by the rule and contracts the work to them. The rule still exists on paper. The function still gets performed. Watch it work in 2 directions. The First Amendment prohibits the government from ordering speech taken down. So CISA, the federal cybersecurity agency, called the platform. The platform took the post down under its own content policy. The Fourth Amendment requires a warrant for government searches. So the search ran through Flock's private camera network. No warrant needed to query a private company. The First Amendment prohibits the order. CISA placed the call. The Fourth Amendment requires the warrant. Flock accepted the query. 2 more. Congress can't compel children to hand over biometric data, so 19 states passed laws requiring a third-party vendor to collect the face scan. The vendor holds the database. A national security letter reaches it without a judge. HIPAA protects health records, so a therapy app relabeled its session data as a marketing category. The category isn't HIPAA. The category is sold to advertisers. Congress can't compel the biometric. The verification vendor holds it. HIPAA protects the record. BetterHelp sold the category. In each case, the protection was written to govern one party. The work was contracted to another. Back to Ventura. The sheriff turned the federal search feature off in 2023, in writing, to comply with state law. Something turned it back on. Flock said the cause was impossible to determine. Their own logging system couldn't track which account flipped the setting. The sheriff's own investigation found no one on staff did it. Constitutional protection, state law, department policy, all 3 in alignment. The setting still got flipped. By whom, the company says, can't be known. In April 2026, the Atlanta City Council passed 2 more resolutions. One opposed ICE detention. The other set new guidelines for Atlanta police. That makes 5. A sanctuary designation, a canceled ICE contract, an open records audit. 2 more resolutions stacked on top. Neither of the new ones mentions Flock. Neither touches the vendor contract. The cameras are still on. The next agency querying them doesn't have to read a single Atlanta document. The piece covers more than what's in this video. It names the lawsuit putting $4 billion of statutory damages on one city's surveillance vendor. It names the federal case that pulled $7.8 million back from a therapy app for selling session data. It names the Supreme Court case that didn't reach the constitutional question. And it names the one tool that already works. The one method of accountability that surfaced every story in this video. 3 words. The piece tells you what they are. That's at the Civic node. Subscribe free at drinkyouroj.substack.com. New issues every week.